excellent and all this stuff, and what you get out of that is music that many people find unlistenable, but it's part of the game.
Okay, we are here. I've got to take a screenshot. Darn. Okay, I'll have to take a screenshot when we arrive. We are back in Haiti, Port-au-Prince, at the lovely Toussaint Louverture Butchered Airport, with the lovely terrain bug that we saw when we landed in our last leg. We've got Chatterino going. We've got music going. We're in our aircraft. Let's get ourselves fired up. Let's hide this yoke, get that out of the way. Using a new wireless mouse. We'll see how that goes.
TOS system test. Okay.
Ooh. That's a new view. Interesting. I feel like I don't remember that look. I wonder why that is different. I guess we can leave the panel lights on. That is an interesting nav view. I think it's because something had changed in the mod here, and I don't want to mess with it. We're gonna go with it. We'll stick with it. We'll see how it does. That's the navigation map. Okay, I'll have to play around with that at some point when we're not, you know, getting ourselves all set up for flying here. So everything is up and running, so that's wonderful. Let's get ourselves onto the tower frequency, which I checked beforehand, 118.3, and I just realized I forgot to file our flight plan with pilot to ATC. So let's take a big chance right off the bat by hopping over to my virtual desktop. Let's see if we can make this work. Yeah, we can. Over to, that's right, I have to exit full screen mode for some reason. Over to pilot to ATC. And let's click the file button. That looked like that went well. We'll just push this button to get out of there. There we go. Am I on VR, MoKilled21? Absolutely. Yes, I've got the Oculus Quest 2 on my head right now. Chalk 280 radio check.
Chalk 280, you are loud and clear.
Sweet. Chalk 280 ready to copy IFR clearance.
Chalk 280 is cleared to Mike Yankee November. Fly the Sava 1N departure with the Savard transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 28. Climb to 4,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 4522.
Cleared as filed. Chalk 280. Okay, so we're going to be going to 4,000. This is a long flight. It's like a 2-hour flight, but we're going to be using the increase in the sim rate pretty liberally today, because I don't feel like flying for a full 2 hours. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, so we wanted 4,000. Set. I always forget that. Vertical speed. We'll get that dialed in. Okay, that's all good. Happy with that. Chalk 280 ready to taxi.
Chalk 280 taxi to runway 28. Chalk 280 advise when ready for departure.
Will advise when ready for departure. Chalk 280. Alright, we're gonna get ourselves pushed back. A quick look outside the aircraft. Looks like we got lots of room. That's good. Runway 28, which is over to our left, and my instinct is to go over that way, but we're actually going to go head over to the right, because I think I learned from last time that I always go to the wrong end of the runways. So we're not going to do that this time. You're going to flip to the front in just a second, aren't you, bro? There you go. Now you're giving us a push. Thank you. And that's probably enough of a push. Okay, got my feet on the rudders. Looks good. Let's get taxiing. Oh, we need lights. We forgot all the lights again. Did that last time too. There we go. That's better. Oh, look at that. We're right at the edge, at the end of the runway here. Isn't that convenient? I wish I could say I had planned that, but I haven't. Chalk 280, ready for departure, runway 28.
Chalk 280 winds are calm, altimeter 29902 cleared for takeoff, runway 28 squawk 4522.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 28, Chalk 280. 4522, I think, was the squawk code. (4522). Excellent. Good to go. Flap set for takeoff. Trim back a little bit to make this a bit easier. And we're gonna go fly straight into this terrain bug. Alright. Taxi lights off, landing lights on. Set to go. Knots. Don't do this simulator, thank you. No freezing today. Gear up. Flaps can come back up. The terrain bug has already disappeared as anticipated. Nice view of the scenery here. Autopilot engaged for our climb to 4,000. And in just a moment here, we should be able to make our turn as I switch on nav mode in the autopilot. And there it goes. Like clockwork. They've really changed the mod, actually, now that I look at it. It looks very different in the displays. I don't know what I think about that. I'll have to look into that. This is the working title mod for the G3000 that's used in the TBM 930. Kapow.
Chalk 280 contact Port-au-Prince Center on 124.5. Have a good morning.
Center on 124.5, chalk 280. Chalk 280 climbing through 2,000 for 4,000 feet.
Chalk 280, good morning. Squawk 4522.
We're doing that, so we are all good. I'm gonna have to get used to it. I don't like this view as much, but it's the nav mode. It's not the map view. It just provides, you know, you can see the airway lines on it and stuff like that. And I'm sure there is a setting. I'm not sure if I want to mess with that right now, mid-flight. Land, city, sensor, aviation, airways, other.
Chalk 280, climb and maintain 8,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 8,000 feet, chalk 280. And 8,000 is going to be our cruise altitude on our way to Nassau in the Bahamas. It just doesn't look quite as nice as I feel like I've lost some settings here as well. Wind, I believe I liked option 3. Synthetic terrain, there we go. That's better. Oh, interesting. Different weather radar settings. Cool. Ah, okay. That's all we had to do. Oh, now it's pretty, actually. That's really nice. Working Title has done a great job with this, with the mod for the G1000, the G3000, and the GX or something like that. They've done all the ones in like the general aviation, the Garmin displays. It looks much nicer. I don't know why we have this blue border around it. That seems like unnecessary, but maybe that is how it actually is in the real G3000. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. It's the only thing I can think of is that they added that for authenticity's sake. We're flying mostly due north this time. Northwest-ish, I guess. Mostly over the ocean. And there's a little bit of weather ahead of us at some point that I saw, but we'll see. I'm sure hopefully it's not too much. We can just kind of hang back and enjoy our flight. I believe this is the last leg of our actual star departure. Savar. It's actually marked like say that's cool. Like once we get out onto the open ocean, we'll speed up the sim rate a little bit until I get nauseous from the sway that the autopilot is going to introduce, but we'll kind of speed our way up a little bit across the open ocean so that it's not too boring. Or rather, so it doesn't get too late, so old man me doesn't have to go to bed too late today. Just gonna call the little bit of lag that the VR sometimes generates, we'll just call that turbulence. I guess hopefully it's just minor like it was there, just for like a second at a time. Ooh, speaking of turbulence. Pretty decent crosswind here. Ooh. Again, you know, these mountains are to blame. It's really that simple. I'll tell you what, you really feel this in VR, the turbulence. This is not the nicest feeling in the world. Beautiful land, though. Really feels like they've cleaned up the map a lot. I'm just not a big fan of the weird blue border that's just the navigation map at the top. It's like, yeah, I get it. I don't know if that's intentional or not. It seems a little unintentional, to be honest. But it looks really nice. And it does not feel like we're moving very fast, but we are. 282 knots ground speed. Oh, this is the other thing that's new. This half screen thing. There we go. You can have two different maps. That's why it's got that navigation map around it. That's kind of cool. I'll have to figure out at some point exactly how to play around with this some more. See what maybe what that might be useful for. I kind of like there's still large navigation map there. I got plenty of other instruments, dials, numbers, everything that it's all pretty good. Don't really need anything else. Now, like I said before, if I could get my navigational charts in there, that would be nice. I'd love to get my Navigraph charts on there, because that's one thing I actually didn't do. I did not check the charts for Nassau, where we're going to be landing. We'll just have to play it by ear, or rather by what we've programmed in. We should be all good. We've got an approach dialed in and everything, but I don't recall the details. Pretty decent crosswind, 14 knots. Realized we had the taxi lights on instead of the landing lights. Oops. With that, we are leaving the Haiti and the Dominican Republic, I suppose, behind us. Time to head out to the Bahamas. Once we get to this next waypoint there, Joseph, which is 3 minutes away, then I think we'll speed up the sim rate a little bit, because I think if I'm reading that correctly, it says we have 2 hours and 8 minutes till the end. If that is what it is, I don't know why it's 02 plus 08. Not sure if I'm reading it right, but we're definitely not going to stretch the flight out in real time the entire way over. It's not necessary. This Logitech wireless mouse is definitely much better than I was using one with Bluetooth before, and it's no good. And then the wired mouse was great, but the cable honestly just got in the way. My little tray here that I have set up, I don't know if you can see that on the side camera, but it doesn't really have a lot of space for a cable. Gorgeous view. So one thing I learned recently is that when I turn on the fuel tank selection to auto, it actually flips this switch down here from left to right tank. Forgot what the time is. It's like every 2 minutes in the air, every 5 minutes on the ground or something like that. Or maybe it's not quite that much, but I actually hear the little clicking sound every once in a while. That is when the selector gets switched from one side to the other so that the tanks use up fuel evenly. Okay, so now the ETA to the next waypoint is 12 minutes, and I think this is where we're going to go and... well, we'll speed it up, but let's have a look at those clouds there ahead of us. See if we see anything on the weather radar. Okay, turned the radar on, weather. Okay, so we see that there. Scan mode, can we get the vertical? I think we might be able to sneak just above them. So there are definitely some clouds there. I mean, we see them, but I think we're just above them. Let's see. Going to speed up the sim rate here. 3 times. And we're just above the clouds. That's good. See, this is when it starts to oscillate from left to right. For some reason, the autopilot with the sim rate increase can't seem to keep a straight line without doing that. I might actually try switching over to heading hold mode in a few minutes, because I think that one doesn't... it does not have that issue with it.
Chalk 280 contact Miami Center on 132.3. Enjoy.
Center on 132.3, Chalk 280. Miami Center. That's how close we are getting back to Florida. Chalk 280 at 8,000 feet.
Chalk 280, good morning. Squawk 4522.
Go back to real time here just so we can actually have a look at this landmass there, and we'll basically only speed it up whenever there's like nothing to see. When there's stuff to see, I like to see it. That's the whole point of the world tour, is to see the world, or at least see a little bit of it virtually. Look at these fluffy little clouds, they're so nice. See, that is actually one pretty neat thing that I could do with the multiple panes. I could technically set one up for the weather radar and one for the nav map. Even though we don't have too much weather to worry about here, but maybe if we do encounter more weather, that might be a good way to use the half pane mode in the display there. We have any information as to what this place is? Not a clue. This, I was going to say it doesn't look densely populated, but it does look like there's some stuff over there, even though I don't really see any airports on the map here, so maybe not so much. One thing I will do is just sync our heading here real quick, so that we can try using the increased sim rate with heading hold mode in a little bit. Yeah, that must be the time till the end, 1 hour and 55 minutes. It's got to be what that means. It's quite beautiful out there. Oh, there's an airport right there. Inagua. That show up on our... It's probably underneath there. It's just too far zoomed out to see that. Okay, so our next waypoint is 24 minutes away, so that's an ideal candidate to speed up some time. It is bearing 340. So let's see. Yeah, I bumped the torque, sorry. Let's set our heading to 340. Let's turn on heading mode. And if we speed up the sim rate, let's see if we still get the wobble. I have a feeling that it's going to be able to hold steady more easily in heading hold mode because it doesn't have to adjust to stay on an exact line. We're just following, like we are actually getting a little bit off course, as you can see. But we can just adjust the course a little bit. Oh, simulation rate is limited with the autopilot engaged. Right.
Chalk 280, you are off course. Turn right heading 004 to return to course.
Yeah, so I mean we drifted off course a little bit because of that, but that's okay. I can't actually adjust the heading. Can't adjust the heading while the sim rate is increased, so we kind of have to try to aim at a medium target here. Let's see, we're gonna keep doing this because I do want to increase the sim rate while we do some of this stuff. let's see if we can sort of aim ourselves more or less on course. Like we've got so much room to cover here. We can be off by a few degrees either way. It's not a big deal.
Chalk 280 resume navigation.
You see, it's got us back on course. Like we fixed it already. So, and it doesn't look like we get that wobble in heading mode, so that's good to know. That makes it a lot easier for us to speed some of these things up a little bit. I think this island we're probably going to fly to at some point. Let's just return to normal speed here and have a quick look out the window as we pass. Hey, Zippo, good evening. How's it going? 1848. I didn't miss it by much. Good. You're catching us right in the middle here of the Caribbean on our way to the Bahamas. I am good. I'm good. I hope you and your family are staying healthy and sane in the last year or so. It's not been the easiest, but hopefully everything is good for you. I've just been flight simming a lot as my escape from normal life. Awesome, I'm glad to hear that. That's good. How's the weather out there? You guys got a lot of snow and cold temperature at the moment, or? All right, let's increase our sim rate again. We zoom on by. I do have to keep an eye on the fuel because I think the increased fuel sim rate messes with the fuel consumption. Heading mode is the way to go if you want to speed up time. Snowstorm a couple days ago. A little cold today, minus 15, just a little. I guess that's not too terrible for
Chalk 280 contact
your
Miami
area.
Center on 125.7. Have a nice day.
Center on 125.7, Chalk 280. Was it 128.7? I think it was. Chalk 280 at 8,000 feet. Maybe it wasn't. Was it 128.7? 127.8? No, I'm pretty sure it was this. Chalk 280 at 8,000 feet.
Chalk 280 contact center on 125.7.
125. Center on 125.7. Chalk 280. Chalk 280, good morning at 8,000 feet.
Chalk 280, good morning. Squawk 4522.
15 degrees would not be very nice out here in Vancouver. We don't like it that cold. Not a lot of snow, eh? That's too bad. The one that I guess, well, Snow is one of those double-edged swords. It's nice to look at. It's not nice if you have to drive in it or shovel it. Okay, 12 minutes to the next waypoint. Yeah, we'll definitely speed that up again. So our heading should be 340, kind of. Let's try that. Heading hold mode on, and I don't know why my little app seems to have stopped functioning. That's supposed to send the messages from Twitch into my screen here. It's too bad. It was working in the beginning and then it stopped. It's an interesting place down here. Lots of beaches. Deadman's Cay. Interesting. Oh, what is happening with the Canucks? That's a good question. They're trying. They had a bit of a rough start. I think they're 3-5 now, which isn't a great